Okay, haven't explained the project in ages, but hey, do we all know what to come? Whatever. Hey people, you all get the drill. Yada yada yada, calibrators, yes, whatever. Basically, and this is what I'm gonna have to try and do. I'm gonna have to try and explain this project that was the first thing that was brought up on my channel. The video's that old, believe me. And I still haven't even done it yet. It was like last year in August when I teased Broken Bonds. And look at us now, 2023 in March, and we've still not got it yet. What in Lord's name am I doing? Why am I not doing it? Okay. Alright, let me see if I can work that out. I haven't explained any projects in a while, and I haven't done face-to-face talks in a while as well either. So it is kind of a worrying thing with me. But I do need to slow down on my projects for a start, because as you all know, I probably haven't said anything, but you may have seen in the comments in the giving assistance video that I am kind of struggling to gain time on my projects because I've got a life to live. But besides, that doesn't mean I want to stop doing it. Like, I love doing this. Like, I had fun doing it when I first started. Like, I just found it fun. So, I need to work out what I'm going to do about the series and how it's going to look. So, if you all have seen my DA, you'll know that I've got a section in my gallery referred as Broken Bond stuff, which is where I do things involving it. So I haven't abandoned it. I did once do a video saying I was gonna hand a project, but I thought, forget it, it's not worth giving it to someone else. I don't know what's gonna happen to it. So that video is kind of expired. So if you're gonna put in the comments of that one, I want the project, sorry bro, you're too late. I've already decided to retake it. So, I don't know which one to explain first. Story, characters, whatever. Well, maybe the little earrings. Yes, they were going to have earrings before, but they are now. I'll explain that in a moment. But, let's see if I can recap myself, basically. It's very recent and I can't help but look back at my stuff, so I can remember how it happened. Basically, the commander, my OC, who is not really known as the commander, but known like this in Broken Bonds for a bit, ended up getting scooped by Anard for reasons unknown currently, because I've not thought of an idea. That's something that me and a friend of mine's got to speak about. And somehow, miraculously, the guy is alive again. And let's just say that after that incident, he's not happy. He's like lost it. He's just gone rogue, basically. Think of your machines going haywire. That's technically what happened to him. He went haywire. But then he started going over recruiting individuals, such as two you can see on the picture, Bonnet and Lolbit. Third being Endo, which I couldn't find a good picture of Endo in this asset, as you can tell. Assets by Blue Street Girl on this one. I've got two different pictures now that I think can work for thumbnails. So I thought, while explaining Broken Bonds, thanks to someone commenting that, so now I've got to work out how to explain it. Thanks a lot. I thought I could use this one for the thumbnailing of the picture here. Well, mostly for the explaining segment. And the new one I've got, which was made by somebody else, I can use for the main thumbnail. But I've breathed an awful lot. I've woke up a few moments ago and, oh God, tripping up over everything. And anyway, my brain's not even with me right now. I've been asleep for who knows how long. It was all the way up until 1 PM in my time, but I don't even know what time. Let me think. 4 AM in your time, I think? I don't know. I don't understand US viewers or all that, because half of you are from the United States. God help me. Well, was it 4 AM? I think it was. Whatever. enough talking about times. I'm going to try and explain what I can about the story and all, and the characters. Alright, let me just take a second to think about it. Okay. So before I could even dare develop Broken Bonds, I've got to develop a pilot for it, which can look into Ethan's perspective of the story more. Ethan belongs to Palette Painter, so all credit goes to her for him. I've got full permission to use him, thank God. Funny enough, I was using him before checking, but I thought before I can even dump him into an actual video involving Broken Bonds, I might need to check permission first. And thankfully I'm fine with that. Oh yeah, it's all about like trying to explain Ethan's segment of the story, looking for the sapphires. Then we've got Raskus, who appears in the pilot only, and he is a thief leader of some kind, 4 arms, some kind of elixir of some sort. Bungie's gonna have the credit for the whole elixir, fallen, Kel, whatever stuff, you know what I mean. And, well, how could I say this? The whole plot of the pilot is locating the sapphires, really. That is literally all the plot is. So we've got like different sides looking for the sapphires. 2 of them are looking for the sapphires for the commander though. But Raskus doesn't know that the commander's got Endo, Lolbit and Barnett searching for them as well. Which, pilot, I might see if there's a few funnies I can slip in. There's a scene I've been imaging for ages in my head that I really want to use. These guys thought they caught Bonbon, so they reveal her to the commander, just to see it's Barnett tied up with an apple in them, or an apple or tape or whatever over her mouth. And you could just see that the commander's not taking it, because he knows that's his own lieutenant, and the fact that they're being put to harm is not a good thing, so he kind of does snap. So yeah, that's all that shenanigans out of the way. It's not worth explaining the other characters, because they're going to appear in Broken Bonds anyway, so... Well... God. Hard to think straight. Whenever you can't even work out what you're on about. But... I'll explain a few things else. How in the world did the commander end up in the rental inn? The commander was searching for a rental. Sure, he came out of one, but he was looking for another one. He was looking for the much older one. Well, the same building he and Ennard used to perform in the past, before Baby, Valora, Freddy and Foxy and who not showed up. That's the one he was looking for, because that's got something inside of it that serves use. That more just combines the sapphires, I think. I don't know. But, anyway, the only way this portal can get opened is if that thief Cal Raskus gets tricked into holding all 7 of them at once. Which, funny enough, may erase them. Hold all 7 of them, you die. Unless you are, well, a god, pretty much. It's quite funny when you think about it. You may feel familiation with the golden weapons from Ninjago, and yes, they're kind of similar, but there's 7 of them, and they're sapphires. Not 4 weapons made out of pure gold, which I bet any money weighs a ton. But anyway, enough of that. I'm going to need to, explain more bits. Something I'm going to bring up quickly are the earrings. As you can tell in this thumbnail, there are no earrings on any of the characters. Not even the villains, which the earrings are meant to be on. The earrings were added on an idea by a friend of mine, who is... You may remember her as Luna Crystal, although she only has a small number of subscribers. Why? Feel free to go see to her, check out Blue Street Girl for the assets, and go see Palette Painter for Ethan, for Christ's sake. I haven't even got hold of a majority of these items without them. But she's also working on something known as Origins of the Commander, which might be able to explain the commander's origins a little better than I can at this point. From when he got scooped to like what ended up going on with him in his little coma and what's supposed to happen. I know I've got these pictures, 2 of them, of recruiting Bonnet and Endo, which I may still make canon, but hard to tell because the 3 are because Endo, Bonnet, and Lolbit are already nearby together on the search point, so it wouldn't work out. I wouldn't know how to plan it. But yes, Commander, Endo, Lolbit, and Bonnet are going to have those earrings on. They're supposed to symbolise something, but I don't know what yet. I need to work out. I think I did the suggestion of a kind of group of some sort. But yes, I would show the new thumbnail off, but I'd rather not give out the spoilers here. But yeah, it's complicated to work out. But then we've got, well, little Wrangle, which it's thanks to his existence the project is even still coming. Because I didn't see a plot for Ethan's sister at all. That's what driven me to confusion. How in the world am I going to manage that? So, she's been changed and switched with for Wrangle, who is Ryan and Tangle's son. Yes, he's getting somewhere, huh? A white, green and blue fox who is only little. I can't tell what age he is yet. But during the event of Broken Bonds, he is only young. So, Ethan's got to do everything in his power to protect him. Which is quite funny when you think about it. But it would have to be done, considering little Wrangle is the chosen one. So I'm just going to move on to Endo as well, which I've not worked the plot out for yet, but judging by the fact he's in both thumbnails, he's likely going to appear. Spiritual Guide, very likely. Another character that belongs to Blue Street Girl, again. Too many characters that belong to other people, technically. Everyone here but Ethan, Endo, and the Commander and Wrangle belong to Scott Cawthon. But Ethan belongs to Palette Painter, Endo belongs to Blue Street Girl, Wrangle and the Commander belong to myself, and the earrings were Luna's idea, so what do you know there? Anyway, let me just refocus myself. At some point, Endo may get a physical embodiment at some point. Looking at this picture, you see he and Ethan connected, and then obviously Wrangle scared right next to Ethan. Wrangle is a kid, so it would make sense for him to have a little bit of fear from time to time. It makes sense. And I've decided to, because I'm not good at detailing wires, they're a nightmare. With Endo, I plan to change his design so he's not got detailed wires, because, God, I could do the wires. It's just a bunch of lines. It's simple. I just do it simple. But it's his mouth that's going to be hard with those wires in the way. If there's wires everywhere, the mouths are very hard to function. Sure, I could do layers, but do I really look like I want to be messing around with those? Sure, I plan to use them, but for simple things like a mouth and whatnot, I wouldn't suggest. That's why I'm going to be changing Yendo's design to not have the wires. Just like where Luna went with it, and how I had him before. No wires, just a grey Endo bear. So, yeah. Makes sense. Then we've got hold of, but anyway, yeah, sorry, nearly went off to another subject. Basically, I've decided that Ethan could just, take parts out of himself to power Endo. And that way he can move around and be of assistance. But I've only got myself confused because I was talking about Endo's design. But now I can move on. We've got Lolbit as well. As you can see, she's got a bow tie on, and she's got a bow tie on her new thumbnail. Bow ties are complicated for me to do, especially on animals with, secondary colour stomachs. Tracing them on's not a problem. I could easily do characters like Ennard with a bow tie, because his shirt's only one colour and I can just slip it on. But characters that have bow ties, so Raggle, the Commander, Lolbit, and Bonnet, because I've noticed Bonnet has one as well, basically will be a struggle because of their secondary belly colour. Funny enough, the antagonists of Broken Bonds are all animals, and the chosen one happens to be one too. It really does remind me of a few things. Okay. Anyway. We have Bonnet, who is the Commander's therapy rabbit, and the thing with her and Lolbit, they can't shut up. They just go on and on for hours. The Endo I've just described, basically, the wires won't be part of him anymore, as they would be complicated for the mouth. And I'm not really a good artist, out of honesty. Like, these were just traced. Reason why it looks legit is because what I've done is that I've extracted a picture of the Commander I've traced out of Lolbit before, Blue Streak Girl's Lolbit. I've gotten her older Lolbit and traced that. I've got, if you've seen one of Blue's Beware the Duck comics, well, the Beware of the Ducks comic, as you may gather, it's also on my channel as well, as I voice as well, because why not? I've just drawn, it's technically just Bon, but I've changed the colour to make it look like Bonnet. And obviously, the picture of Endo and Ethan I got from another image and traced that. And then the picture of Raggle I took from a page from the Unforgiving comic in the place of Funtime Foxy, because the position he was pulling was perfect to use on Raggle. So yes, a lot of that was going on, forgive me please. Yeah. God, hard to explain. But basically, the Commander and his lieutenants are trying to do so. They're just like on an urge of just trying to get hold of the sapphires again, and etc, etc. The two videos of Bonbon's... Okay, Bonbon's silencing treatment is not a Broken Bonds canon thing. It was something that was inspired by someone else. And the giving assistance is a Broken Bonds related thing, out of honesty, because the Commander's in it and stuff like that. And besides, Lolbit's going to be taking some temperaments, as you saw in the giving assistance video. Although I can't draw detailed hair on the top of the head, I've seen and I've approved to how my AU's Lolbit looks. Basically, she's going to have a purple tail tip on top of the orange, and she's going to have purple feet. So it means I'll be removing the orange nails because her feet are purple. So that's going to be interesting. But I am on the learning path right now. I managed to get hold of another actor, also being Luna, highly appreciated as well. It's considering she'll be doing the female characters, considering I can't really do them very well, and I've only just noticed my mistakes. So, I will be doing characters such as the Commander, Yendo, Ethan, Endo, Raggle, Anard, and obviously Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy. And Bonbon if he appears. Yes, they're going to be appearing in it as well, because, well, let's just say the event known as the Final Battle. Also another Ninjago reference, but loads of people have used the Final Battle as Summit, haven't they? So, don't pretend you didn't. Basically, the Final Battle, something that Raggle and the Commander are despising, because that means they've got to fight each other. And the Commander is obviously Raggle's dad, and he obviously loves his dad. And obviously, the Commander loves his son, so he doesn't want him harmed. But the spiritual figure, Demon Ryan, who is also been tampered to resemble Overlord now, because what better Ninjago villain? What better Ninjago villain to take similarities from than Ninjago's big bad, the Overlord? Because he's quite preferable, really. But anyways, Straight to the detail, that thing wants the final battle to happen. Because that means it gets to travel outside of the rental. I'm walking into everything. And go cause problems somewhere. Which means that Ethan has to train Raggle to use his powers. So it's going to be complicated. Casualties, though, I don't know what to say. Tangle's going to appear for a little bit, but that's only to try and convince the commander. But the demon is around at the time, so let's just say that the commander, out of force, kills Tangle. Although he's upset about it as well, just as much as Raggle is. He knew it had to be done. But that doesn't mean Tangle's forever gone, because I may use her again for something. But, yes, that is technically how Raggle loses both of his parents. His father to whatever evil is in him, and his mother due to his own father. So, what do you know? God. Wobbly ass, aren't I? But anyway, not much can be explained, but basically, how Ethan runs into Raggle. Raggle was already in the rental to begin with. Like, he was just already there. He had his own little den, thankfully, so he knew where to stay safe when the commander's lieutenants, Lorbit, Endo, and Bonnet were roaming around. Although Bonnet's not much, but normally when Bonnet's deployed, Lorbit or Yendo are with her as well. Because Raggle could easily deal with Bonnet because of her size. But as for Yendo and Lorbit, technically they're grown adults, just like the commander is. Technically Bonnet is a bit older than Raggle as well, but because she's supposed to be a body hand puppet in model, but obviously I've given her legs, same with Bonbon. She's smaller because of the type of animatronic she is. She's just a buddy. And believe me, she's only small. So yeah, younger than the commander, Yendo and Lorbit, but older than Raggle in a few years. But basically, it's hard to explain. This may end up changing, but how Ethan and Endo find Raggle is they kind of find him roaming around the rental. They kind of like hear something get knocked off and they just see this like blue tail just go down and a green paw. Like a green like foot paw. Basically, so it wasn't the commander and it wasn't Tangle because sure, it could have been possible that they were both in the same spot, but it wasn't possible. The hiding place was only small. No way it could fit two foxes. So obviously, asking this fox to reveal himself. Obviously, you see a blue hand, and you see like a little green snout pop out, and like you start to see his ears a little bit as well, like in blue. You start to see that he's got a blue eye and one of those hollow LED type of eyes that Lorbit and Tangle have. And you see him come out a little more, revealing himself to be white, blue, and green. Obviously, when they first meet each other, Raggle is scared and quite shy, which kind of makes sense for some children if they've met someone they've not seen before. But considering Raggle's in the middle of the rental trying to keep hidden, he doesn't know if Ethan's an ally or not. So basically, after coming close enough, because of Ethan's damaged state, let's just say a blade pops out randomly and scares him off. So he goes deeper into the rental. So basically the first bit of Ethan and Raggle's first encounter is basically just Raggle trying to keep away from Ethan. But basically, the project's in its development point. I've got to work out the plot for the pilot. Chances are it may be one of those projects with words, but chances also are that I set up the words so I know what lines are being said, then I erase the words before pasting. So, who knows? Who knows how Broken Bonds is going to turn out. So, I hope this does for explanation. It's confusing, basically. I can't think this through at all, so... Considering that explaining broken bonds felt more forced than explaining everything else, I was a little more unable to explain, in other words. So, once I get the extra pages for Origins of the Commander and whatnot, then obviously I can work out the pilot and whatnot. Just give me time. This project's like, sure, the first thing mentioned to my channel, but it's massive. It's like one of possibly 2 movie projects. So, do me a favour, guys, and give me time. If you don't see anything Broken Bonds themed, that's because I've not got anything Broken Bonds themed. I've got a lot of projects on my plate that I need to finish. So, I do appreciate if I'm given time to do it. So, thanks for listening to a very confusing explanation, and I will catch you guys later. See yous.